Alright, quick update on liquidity conditions for both Bitcoin and the S&P 500. So it looks like liquidity conditions have started to top out for both of these markets. I'm going to talk about Bitcoin first because I know the majority of the people who watch my channel are here for crypto content, although the S&P 500, what's going on with liquidity in the S&P 500 is very important as well. Always remember, Bitcoin follows the greater market, so keeping your eyes on these charts will put you in a good position to understand when Bitcoin's ready to top out. But starting off with the liquidity for Bitcoin, let's look at the MFI. 2 days ago, on the 17th, Bitcoin approached 96 on the MFI. This is the money flow index. This is basically like the RSI, so it looks at the relative strength of the market, but it also incorporates volume. So we're looking at volume over extensions as well when we are looking at the MFI, basically looking at how quickly and how brutally liquidity has flown into these markets. Now, what is nasty about this is if you zoom out, you can see I haven't moved my cursor. My cursor is right on 96 where we topped out. If I zoom out, throughout this entire bull run that happened, early 2020 all the way up till 2021, late 2021, you can see, we topped out at, 91, we topped out at 90, we topped out at 87. During the bull market top, we topped out around about 94. And, for the first time in years, the MFI has approached 96, meaning liquidity conditions are more overextended right now than they were at 69,000. Now, this doesn't mean there's more liquidity in the markets than there was at 69,000. This just means that, coming up to 69,000, there was a long time, a lot of distribution, a lot of money that slowly came into the cycle, or at least slowly in terms of crypto terms. This is, one of the most brutal runs up we've had in a very long time. And because of this, liquidity conditions for Bitcoin are absolutely overextended right now. Even though we've started to come down from 96, the highest level the MFI has been at in years, we are currently coming down and we're still sitting at 85, 86 right now. So we're super overextended on the daily time frame for Bitcoin's MFI. And if we come over to the weekly time frame, you can see while there isn't a linear downtrend which characterizes this at this moment in time, because you can see, downtrend, and we flipped this, we broke above the trend line. If you do watch the channel, I'm not the biggest fan of trend lines in the first place, but nonetheless, someone asked me the other day, am I bullish if we break above the weekly MFI? No, the higher the MFI goes up, the more bearish that is, because once again, this just means liquidity is becoming super overextended. And you can see, during a bull market you have some pretty sizable drops, and during a bear market, or when you establish the bull market tops in liquidity are not bullish. It means there's far too much money in the markets, and smart money will take advantage of this. They'll see so much liquidity has flown in, and they will start to offload their bags as the price goes up. And that is what I do believe we are going to be starting to see very soon. Bitcoin's MFI coming down, but still at 86, super overextended. Now, if we do head over to the S&P 500, like I said, I've done quite a few Bitcoin videos, quite a few S&P 500 videos, lots of TA in the past few days, especially like 2 days ago, I think we made quite a few Bitcoin videos. Before that, we talked about, death crosses, we talked about whale watching, looking at on-chain metrics, all that good stuff. So there's not really too much TA that I want to add at this moment in time. Potentially we'll revise the charts tomorrow. I really want to talk about liquidity in this video. And for the S&P 500, like we talked about in the last video, we were waiting to add this new blue vertical line on our chart, indicating that liquidity has topped out. Now, if you watch the channel, you know that these blue vertical lines correlate to the tops in the book depth for the E-mini futures in the S&P 500. Basically looking at, when this blue line tops out, the S&P 500 liquidity's topped out. We had a top over here, we had a top over here, we had a top over here, we had a top over here. And as you can see, we steadily approached basically, the highs of December 1st. We didn't quite reach it. We're still making lower lows and lower highs at this moment in time. However, if we come over to the S&P 500, the S&P 500 topped at about $4,100 round about December when liquidity topped out. And, we almost pushed up to this level. So right now, liquidity conditions, which once again are highlighted, liquidity tops are highlighted by these blue vertical bars, are topping out once again at this moment in time. So, we talked about this. We talked about how this is, blatantly obvious. Keep your eyes on this trend line. This trend line for the S&P 500 is beautifully playing out. And every single time we come up to it, we make new lows. We come up to it, we make make new lows. We come up to it, we make new lows. We come up to it. This is the only time that we haven't made new lows. We did have a sharp break back down. We had a slight rally back up on, you know, some economic data that we talked about over on the channel. But now, once again, liquidity has topped out. Looking at the book depth, it is extremely overextended right now for the S&P 500. Liquidity conditions are overextended for Bitcoin. And I do believe, you know, this is pretty much going to be the top that we do see. Now, just before we do wrap up the video, let's also look at the cost to trade. Look at the bid-ask spread, actually. Not too much going on. The mid-price basically just says the same story as before. Although we did have a pretty sharp increase in the spread during the top, so it does look like, you know, once again, if we're looking at the bid-ask spread, this would also be indicative, like the book depth, that we should be heading down. Coming over to the cost of trade, you'll notice the mid price of these is very, very, very similar in every single one of these charts, and that's because when we're looking at these liquidity conditions, no matter what you're looking at, these all are kind of leading indicators for the S&P 500, and once again, you have to remember, these don't top out exactly when the S&P 500 does. There's been plenty of times where the mid-price tops out over on the book depth, and you can actually see, you know, liquidity topped out here, but the S&P 500 rallied for, you know, 1, 2, 3 more days before topping out. Over here, liquidity conditions topped out and we rallied for another day. Over here, liquidity conditions topped out and we rallied for another day. Over here, they topped out and rallied for another day. So often, these tops in liquidity are leading indicators. Over here, however, this called the exact top. Liquidity top caused the move to the downside for the S&P 500, and then it's dragging Bitcoin back down. But like I said, let's head over to the cost of trade. Cost of trade right now is also at extremely elevated levels. Looking at the mid price, came up very, very close to the December highs and is now turning back down to the downside. So if you are trading the S&P 500, futures, contracts, derivatives, whatever you're trading, it is going to become extremely expensive. Bulls are going to start paying the funding fees for the bears, and of course this only sweetens the deal to be a bear at this moment in time, as you have once again approached a historical trend line. You're seeing liquidity top out, you're seeing cost of trade increase, you're seeing you know, bad economic data spill back into the markets, you're seeing Bitcoin topping out in terms of liquidity. That's really all I wanted to update you on today. Really not looking good. I did post a mini thread about this over on my Twitter, so if you do want, you know, more posts like this, sometimes I post stuff like this over on my Twitter that doesn't make it to my YouTube. Be sure to head over to my Twitter at 618_cowboy. But for today, that's all I've got for you. If you enjoy the content, make sure to let me know by leaving a like and a comment. Share the videos with your friends. It's been your boy Cowboy Trades. I'm out. Peace.